What's going on? What's going on? Yee! So it's fight night tonight. Ramirez versus Taylor for undisputed, all four of the belts. They both had to go through some guys in order to get to this particular point. And it's a shame because tonight's supposed to be all about them. This whole week was supposed to be about them. The whole focus should have been on these two fighters, and it should have been on this fight. And it's just, it's basically been treated like a side note. The whole saga that was going on with Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, that BS that was never going to happen, and then obviously them being put into a bad space because then it spills into the whole, Wilder winning the arbitration. Wilder's actually signed his contract, I believe, already to fight Tyson Fury. They're just waiting on Tyson Fury. It's all that's going on. The whole focus and the whole talk has basically been on that for weeks. And not only has this fight suffered, but other fights have suffered that had to do with Matchroom and Top Rank cards. Where even on the fight weeks, the only thing they were talking about was the Fury versus Anthony Joshua. And it's kind of crazy that these two entities would basically just brush away all their fighters and just focus on this one thing that they knew was all BS from the get-go, and they knew it wasn't going to happen. And it's crazy. Like, this is a undisputed bout. We're going to know who is the best 140-pounder in the world this period. There's only going to be one person who can claim to be, the true champion at 140 pounds tonight. And people, they love Undisputed so much. They want to see Undisputed so much. Well, they're getting it, and it's basically a footnote in the week. It's a footnote on the week. This should have been a monstrous fight. It's going to be an incredible fight. It's going to be a great fight. I don't know who's going to win this fight. But the promotion has been trash. Has been absolute trash. It's been held in a venue with only 1,000 seats. I think they basically put the seats out, but they had these, third parties gobble up all the seats. And then, then they just shot up the prices, try to make their money off of it. But that's it, 1,000 people. You could have had this on an actual real venue, whether it be in Texas, whether it be in Vegas. You could have had pretty much Texas. I would say it would have been Texas, and it would have been great. They should have been able to put 10, 15,000 people, 20,000 people to watch this easy. They should have been able to do it for this particular fight, but they put zero effort into this. Bob Arum has his little whatever deal he has with these casinos. Don't get it twisted. Bob Arum be making that money, okay? And even when there's no crowds, he'll get these places to make him a deal where they'll give him a boatload of money, and he'll bring in a certain amount of events to their facility. Or to their casino or whatever it is. That's why even when certain places started to become open, he still kept certain fights still in those places because he was getting his money. People have this weird assumption just because Bob Arum saying that he's losing money is really losing money. He's not losing money. He has things set up in a way where he's not paying his fighters that much. He takes huge chunks. He takes 30% off Teofimo. He takes 30% off Terrence Crawford. They don't get a lot of that back end money. He keeps pretty much probably all of it or most of it. He's keeping most of that gate if they have a gate. And he's keeping, when it pertains to this particular venues, he's keeping that money. He's making money, and that's his whole focus. So he doesn't care if the fans come or not. He could care less about the fans. He could give two-ish. Next week you got Devin Haney fighting. But again, all this drama's gobbled up everything. You haven't heard any kind of talk whatsoever, even from the promoters, about Devin Haney in this fight next week. He's a footnote. They've made him a side note. When, this whole time, DAZN should have been focused on that upcoming fight because that's supposed to be their superstar. That's supposed to be their next big name. You're supposed to be trying to focus on bringing him up and progressing him, but no. Let's just, focus on this BS, fight that we know is not going to happen. And that's what it's been doing. So that's going to suffer. It's going to make him suffer. I guess he's selling his tickets, which is cool. He should have a good, amount of people in there, which is cool. At least it's going to have people in there. But it's just terrible what they're doing, to all these fighters. In big fights, Herring, an incredible win that he wasn't supposed to get, stoppage win. That should have propelled him to to different heights. So when he fights a Shakur Stevenson or wherever it is that he fights, ends up being a massive fight, ends up being a big fight where people are really focusing and really tuning in. But no one's even talking about that anymore. No one's talking about that great victory that he had. When's the last time you've heard about that fight? No one's talking about it because All the airwaves has been about this. While PVCs, pretty much, you can say what you want about PVC. They've been had their head down, they've been quiet, and they've just been setting up fights. They got the Showtime schedule that keeps popping off, every couple of weeks. When the fight's coming up, they focus right on that. When we had Javante Tank Davis, his press conference, the whole focus, their focus was on that. When they went into court, they did what they needed to do as it pertains to the Deontay Wilder situation. They weren't all in the papers. They weren't all on YouTube, on social media talking about it. They stayed quiet. They stayed focused. They did what they needed to do to get the victory as it pertained to that case. And now we're here when it comes to that. We're here when it comes to that. They had the Manny Pacquiao versus Earl Spence. They were in the back, in the cut, just working that out, negotiating that. And they got that done. And now we got that. And we still got Sean Porter coming up. We got Mikey Garcia, Keith Thurman, Ugas, all these other guys that are going to be coming up too, for the second half of the year. They're all going to be coming up as well. And when they do, the full focus is going to be on those guys. They're going to keep their full focus on those guys. Period. So it's a shame. It's a shame that we have an undisputed bout. It's a shame that we have these two great fighters, that are going to be putting everything on the line. And they've been made into a footnote for the week because these guys wanted to, I don't know, I guess they're clout chasing. I guess they're the BS that they've been doing. That's what's more important to them. That's what's more important to them than actually doing what's in the best interest of these two fighters. So, regardless, regardless, all you can do is just, hey, wish them the best, hope they both end up, having a great fight. Regardless of who wins, I hope they come out safe. Taylor, this is a big fight for the UK. That's all I'm going to say. It's a big. Taylor loses this fight today. The UK is down to 2 champions. 2 major champions in the entire country with the possibility that they only have one in the next 8 weeks. That's what could be happening. So we got to see what he does. We got to see what he does. But there's a lot on his shoulders tonight. There's a lot on his shoulders tonight, but he definitely could become undisputed tonight. And I hope the people in the UK are supporting him. I hope the people in the UK are watching him, and I hope Ramirez, I hope all his fans are watching him too. I hope anybody that's a boxing fan is watching this fight because this is what it's supposed to be all about. This is what everybody preaches. We want to see undisputed. You always want to see undisputed when it comes to particular people. Some particular people, they need to sacrifice. They need to do this because undisputed is important. When it comes to the heavyweight, it's so important. When it comes to 147 pounds, it's so important. But for some reason, when it comes to 135, it's so important. But when it comes to 140, let's not even talk about it. Let's keep quiet about it. At 160, when was one belt for Canelo Alvarez to be undisputed at that weight class, And if Canelo decides to walk away from this fight at 168 and fight somebody else other than Caleb Plant and not go undisputed, fight for undisputed, people are just going to say, and it's a shame. Got to keep it consistent. You got to keep it consistent. So people can do what they want to do, but I'm going to keep it consistent. This is a fight. This is a major fight. This is a major fight. I can't wait for it. And whoever wins, they're the king of 140 pounds. And I guess they move up maybe to fight Terrence Crawford. If I was them, I would just stay down. I'd be like, give me Teofimo Lopez, or I'm just staying down. But I know Ramirez, he be cutting down hard. So if he wins, he probably is going to have to move up anyway. And Taylor, he ain't trying to stay down there, I don't believe either. So, it is what it is. We'll see. I guess it's moving up, to greater pastures and greater things. But it's a shame. That's all I got to say. What these people have done to these fighters that put their lives on the line, blood, sweat, and tears, the sacrifice that they've made, for these big moments to just be overclouded by bullish the way that it is, it's a shame. It's a real shame. But it is. It's life. Like, subscribe, share, I'm out.